All right. So the reason why I stopped talking, right, when I had some family come in is because a lot of times they're intellectually intelligent, but spiritually bankrupt. The spirit is still there, of course, but they don't really move by spirit. They move by intellect. So I am not a person who, I mean, I'm very intellectual. I'm very intelligent, but I'm not going to be here trying to convince somebody of something that is spiritual, and it's also scientific. But again, the words, the words, man. So follow me, y'all. These cartoons, these shows, I mean, even up until today, they've just perfected it to the point where people don't really notice. I mean, people never noticed that. I would say people did notice, but people also, a lot of people just didn't notice. these shows these shows give a these shows and movies give a blueprint for how people live their days on a day-to-day life, on a day-to-day basis. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna give this question actually. How would you live your days out, and how would you exist if you had never watched TV, movies, or any kind of digital media at all? Like, how would you, could you even fathom that? You know what I mean? And social media now is the new TV. Now you're seeing what people, here's the structure, y'all. Now that I'm saying it, I want to be able to tell you guys what it is. Again, these shows, these programs, these songs, they all present you with a way of life, a lifestyle that is, for the most part, not one that aligns with you, but because they presented it to you in a way that is appealing or funny or just attractive in one way or another, or it's just something, that's outside of yourself. A person, whether they are, if they're discerned, then they can maneuver through this and be able to see the codes. But if they are not, they end up taking on the roles of characters within these shows, movies, and music, and so on and so forth. And they embody this throughout their life, especially if they continue to be on that frequency. If you tap into that 444 frequency that is most mainstream music, and you listen and you embody the lyrics of music, it's not gonna happen. You're not gonna be embodying it on a conscious level, like, oh, I'm listening to this song, I want to go shoot a nigga. No, 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 no. It doesn't work like that. Subconsciously, it's okay. I'm listening to this song. I'm doing something. It's absorbing into your body. Something happens that triggers you. That kind of initiates or pushes you into a certain circumstance that your subconscious then feeds through whatever it's been fed before, which then kind of adds into what that ends up playing out, and it can be in so many different ways, so many different ways, especially if you are not conscious of your subconscious and what you're feeding it. So it's really, really, like, this is huge. You know, for me personally, when I realized that, one, you know, the movies that I was watching was, I mean, I always knew that when I watched the movies, I would start embodying certain characters and things like that. And I would always have fun with it and play with it. And then eventually it would kind of like fade away. But I didn't realize that certain parts of these movies had stuck with me and really, like, I mean, I kind of did, the frequency of it, just the residue was always on me, especially if the movie wasn't the best for my mental health or for my spiritual growth or for my overall physical nature, like my natural nature. So, it, I saw that I was experiencing realities that were parallel to some of these movies. And I was like, okay, yo, this is crazy. And I was always hoping to find a movie that embodies similar aspects to my spiritual nature, but they're never. Have you ever found a movie that is literally, I mean, for real, just like you? Like, and here's the thing, people are programmed. So they're thinking that these movies are for them, but really, it's not. Because let's go back to the ideas of race being a social construct and being an illusion. And this is also fed through by the movies, TV shows, the music, all that shit, everything, everything. No one is black, white, Asian. What is even black? What is even white? What's African and European? It's very funny that people continuously say these things when it's been proven scientifically, historically, whatever you want to call it. It's been proven already. It's been debunked that these things are truly what people are. But we continue as people, as humans, as beings, we continue to put on these labels that honestly are not us. I am an indigo child, I'm a crystal child, rainbow seed, whatever you want to call me, a star seed. I'm not from here. I'm not from this planet. I came here with a mission and a goal to help people remember who they are and ascend. But here's the thing. They got this science of trauma traps to a T. And this beautiful shaman really intellectually, she's able to really capture the words and the spiritual aspects and really put it into a tangible form where people can absorb it. Her name is Nicole Ray. She really put this in beautifully. You know, we as people have experienced an invasion essentially of the conscious, spiritual, every aspect of this experience. There's an invasion. There's somebody else outside of us telling us what we are. um, and I'm not saying this is for everyone, because it's honestly a choice. And again, if we're going back to frequency and vibration, if you're at a high vibration, you're at your own vibration. You created and stayed at your own place of existence that is high vibrational, which is our natural being, our natural state of being. This thing will not affect you because you don't have space for it. You don't have time for it. You don't make space, room, anything for it. You're in the moment. You're aligned with your purpose. You're aligned with who you are in all aspects of self. So you don't experience external attacks or psychic attacks in these ways that are, essentially trying to steer you in a direction that's trying to tell you, you are this person or you are not this person. So going back into the trauma traps, a lot of, especially black folks, people that are melanated rather, um, anyone who says that they're black is confused. I'm gonna tell you guys right there, like that for now. Anyone who says that they're black is confused. Anyone who says that they're African, confused. Anyone that says that they're anything that another person has given them, because Africa is not even the name of Africa. It was named something else before by the indigenous people. The people that were actually from there. Um, you know, it's it's all a ploy. But essentially, what I genuinely think is that, according to the Bible as well, and according to just understanding what is happening on this earth, it's karma. We as people probably did this to another group of people, where we enslaved them, confused them, put them in places of feeling disconnected to themselves in certain ways, and now here we are experiencing that for ourselves, on a collective level. And these trauma traps, they come in many different forms. For black people, it usually comes in the form of violence happening upon another body that looks similar to theirs. So you see, the like the lynching, and they're parallel. These things trigger people back into a time of their karmic, how they died in their past life, or just an identity that they're insecure with, and kind of bringing it to the forefront, and again reinforcing this narrative that, again, it's problematic, it's traumatic, it's not necessarily anything that's helpful. It's a narrative that is always going to be a losing battle, a losing game. It's not something that is going to help a person grow in any way, shape, or form. I'm telling y'all now this. I'm telling you guys this now, like for real. Black Lives Matter is a losing game. Here's how they do it. So you remember Trayvon Martin, right? You remember Rodney King. You remember all of the people from the 40s, 50s, 60s being lynched? They rile the energy up of people, the electric energy of people that are melanated. And they essentially use that energy because we're electric, you know? When we're experiencing high vibrational things, we can create things that are beautiful. Same thing with the negative, with the complete opposite, the polarity, the dual side of this. If we're in a place of fear, anger, you know, oh, this is what we call the third dimensional energy. Um, you are susceptible. That's okay. How do I even drop this down, y'all? Like, third dimension is the archon's realm. It's there, is that's their playground. If you're in that realm, you are susceptible to, and you're not aware of the fact that you're there, or you are aware of that place but you're still in a place of fear. You are susceptible to any kind of program that they throw towards you. The fourth dimension is your ability to understand that this exists, this third dimension exists and it is here, but it is a place to help you grow and understand yourself as well as maneuver through life. So that's the fourth dimension. The fourth dimension is transformation. It's reflecting. It's facing the fears, and it's, you know, really going through and just going through it. You understand? The breakthrough. And then the fifth dimension is where you have faith and trust in the universe, and you now know who you are, and you're maneuvering and you're fully being in your fullest potential. You are your fullest self. You're on your vibrational. Everyone has always been. You were born on the fifth frequency. You understand what I'm saying? People are acting right now like the fifth dimension is something new. Like they just now installed it or something. It's a new update. And it's not. Everyone was born, to my knowledge, everybody was born, I think after probably in the 1970s, was born on the fifth frequency. So everybody has the ability naturally to tap into this love frequency and even higher. But the thing is that they are battling or trying to maneuver in a system that is already automatically third dimensional. The government, third dimensional. Any kind of society norms, third dimensional. Any kind of, if movies, TV shows that are not made by people that are consciously aware and trying to uplift the people, third dimensional. So these shows already are going to show and trigger people into a space of fear or kind of a place of judgment or jealousy, any kind of negative emotion that's not really constructive or really going to help you uplift yourself, and you find yourself there and you're stuck. You're in the third dimension essentially. You're in the third dimension. And a lot of people have, especially people with melanin, like my own self. I'll give you guys an example because I'm talking a lot about other people, but not really about myself. I, throughout elementary school, throughout my whole life, I knew I'm a humanitarian. I'm a person that, oh my gosh, words. I'm a person that cares a lot about other people. I want to see people thrive and do beautiful things. And I'm a lover at heart. You know, you can ask my parents. Like when I was a baby child and I would see other children be tormented or bullied or abused, I did not matter the color. I didn't look at the color. I just wanted to make sure I could feel and I could see people's hearts, the energy that people had. So when I saw that and when I experienced suffering with other people, or that I saw people were experiencing suffering, I would always try to cut that shit out immediately. Like it could be my mom slapping my older brother. And I'm like, no, mom, don't do that. Like, please, like, you can just don't do that. Like, and I would cry and I would show compassion and love towards people that were experiencing hardships. But when I what happened was I started experiencing hardships and I started to experience pain and suffering, and I realized that no one really gave like a fadoodle about me, like in a lot of aspects, especially when I was a kid, as like a under 5 years old in the household, and we had friends come over or family come in over, rather family come over. They would bully me, and I remember this one day, one of my cousins, well, don't worry about it. Just know that as a person, I experienced suffering, and once I started experiencing suffering, it kind of made me quiet. In fact, I should probably share that story because people would actually understand a little bit more of my heart. It makes me really sad to this day because it's like, damn, what the fuck? That's hard. That's really harsh. But my dad used to teach us our native tongue, Igbo, when I was a baby child, like to um, fellow Nigerians, follow me. And I was maybe 2 or maybe 3 years old, and I had a family member. His name was Cheeto, because we used to call him Cheeto because he used to eat Cheetos all the time. Every time he would be at the crib, he'd be eating Cheetos. And the other one, his name was Ch- Chi Chiobi or something like that. Chimobi, that's what it was. And Chimobi and Cheeto, they were older than me. They're probably like 7, 8, 9. And they were like the older kids that were kind of, if you watched like Ed and Eddie, they were the kids that were like always trying to torment those guys. That's the kind of energy that they had, like completely. And I was, innocent, always trying to be kind and just compassionate, because that's just my heart. I just want to see how you and I can create things, or just, I don't know, just there really wasn't any kind of um there was no kind of motive behind it. My intention was always just to allow people to feel themselves and be happy and to experience themselves, and people would always take advantage of this. So what, or not always, but in this situation, there was times where I would ask, like, can I have a Cheeto? And he'd be like, no, no Cheetos for you guys. Like, no, I'm not gonna hand you shit. It's not for you. And then there was times where I would try to play video games with them, and they'd be like, no, you're a girl. Like, you're a fucking stupid girl. You can't do any of this shit. Like, you know, like, back away type shit. And there was a time with Chimobi, I really wanted to play video games with these guys, and I was like, yeah, I want to stay here. Like, I'm gonna stay here and I want to play with you guys. And Chimobi was like, get the fuck out of here. Like, go. It was Chimobi, Cheeto, my brother, and maybe another kid. And they're all in front of the TV taking turns with the controllers and playing like a race car game. Don't remember which one it was. It's 2002, 2003. Maybe even 2000. No, it's 2003 for sure. And the dude gets up and he sprays Capri Sun directly into my eyes, and it was burning. And I remember crying so much because I was like, damn, bro, like, just because I can't, like, because I'm a girl, like, that's why you don't wanna play with me, is because I'm a female. And I remember that kind of really put me in a place of wanting to impress, not even impress, but wanting to outdo guys, because I'm like, bro, you don't think I can do what you can do? Like, that's weird. Completely weird. Especially because I know that female and male constructs, again, that's a whole nother freaking construct that's not even real as well. I mean, it's real, but it's not like the the definitions and the ways that people should be moving simply because they're female and male. They're not necessarily true, and they're not things that serve us at all. Especially because some people are not from here, and in their places where they come from, you can be like, you can't even imagine like how spectacular, how forward thinking these extraterrestrials are. But because people are still stuck in these archaic ways of believing and thinking, due to socialization, all these illusions, they just don't even know how to act, how to exist, and they just follow a program. The Willie Lynch, I'm kind of a little bit all over the place, but I really want you guys to be able to, my brain connects things in these patterns, and kind of it connects dots. So the Willie Lynch letter, it says, if a slave ever wakes up, just put so much illusion in front of them that they're not going to really know what is real and what is not, because the instincts are there, but the spirit for some people is absent. So when you don't have that spirit with you, you're kind of lost still. So a lot of people are kind of in that place right now where they are waking up, but they don't really know what's real and what's not real. There's just so much shit that's like, what? And this is why you have to vibrate again back at your own frequency. And how do you do this? You tap back in with the earth because you chose to come to this earth because of its frequency, because you felt like the frequency of the earth has something that you can then contribute to. We're as people, we're not meant to just take and take and take. That is a program that has been given to us that tells us, here, let me pacify you. Don't worry about the earth. The earth isn't real. We're the ones who control the earth and just take and take and take and all this hoopla that's honestly just so detrimental to ourselves as well as earth. But that's why Mother Earth is getting a huge cleansing on right now, where people who are compromised, who have made choices to not not follow themselves, not be authentic to themselves, not fully follow the truth and the purpose and the mission that they came here for. They're experiencing consequences for that. And I'm not going to say it's a coronavirus. I'm going to say, it's just because coronavirus is just the nail in the coffin type shit. But if you get sickness, any kind of disease, your body's not in harmony. It's a reflection of your internal, a reflection of the external. It's a reflection of everything that you're experiencing. So if your vibration is high, you're not sick. Period. You don't have space for it again, because you're completely creating your reality as it's happening. And in every moment, if you don't choose to be sick, you ain't gonna be sick. Period. If you're not fearful, nothing can touch you. Truly. And you know, here's another thing, because there's a lot of layers to these constructs, and there's a lot of illusions. Because when I say this, like, oh, you got to be positive all the time, and if you're not fearful, you won't experience anything. People, the problem right now is the people who are here. Hold on, I want to face y'all now.